in February, as you can see, Scott, relatively nothing going on leading into mid-February. Then all of a sudden, a huge spike in volume. So this huge spike in volume was really what drew our eyes to it. Around that same time, Carl Icahn comes in and says he has a 9.1% stake in Clorox. And when an activist investor like Carl, with his track record as good as it is, people started piling on.
I mean, you can see the obvious spike here, right? That culminates there. Move on to the next chart. Now we're looking at July. This is when things, Doc, get really interesting.
Yeah, then they get really interesting because here, just with days before expiration, Scott, so in that other example, that was February, and they were buying April calls several months into the future. When you're buying something with only 4 days before expiration, you must know or think you know that something's about to happen. Indeed, people that were buying these options right around here, Scott, for 10 cents. And these options went all the way up to $4. As far as leverage, you don't get better leverage than that. This was an absolutely explosive move. 50,000 of these options changed hands. And again, we never know who's the buyer, but we know this was very suspicious just a couple days before Carl actually made his run for the company.
We're talking July 11th, where the options volume spiked tremendously, which were going to expire just a few days later. So it was a tremendously risky bet.
Yeah, it was. And so...
Unless you thought you knew something.
If you thought you knew something, and or if there's just a lot of, we call it chowder frequently, you know, that there's a lot of talk or chowder about a particular name. And as you can see, that chart where it spikes up from basically mid-60s all the way
up, right up here is the very top, the very top right there.
Yep, all the way up here, getting to $75 from the mid-60s. That's why those options expired like that.
Yeah, you can look down here.
This is always what we talk about as far as why do people trade options? Because they have limited risk and because they can get tremendous leverage, especially into expiration.
I'm going to clear this out right here, but one of the reasons people are focusing on this so much is this is not your average Joe kind of trades, right? These aren't the options that a typical viewer may be putting on, correct?
Right, especially in the size. I mean, because there were blocks of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 contracts, even at something as little as 10 cents or 20 cents. That's a lot of money. I mean, very few investors are going to put $100,000 down and basically say red or black. Somebody was doing that, so it doesn't mean that it's insider trading, but it means that people were pretty certain something was going to happen in a very defined amount of time.